Hello, my name is Benjamin, and I'll be your guide on walking through your new editor. We'll start with the very basics. To get to your login page for your editor, you'll type in the address that you see me highlighting here, which is dealerspike-cms.com. That will get you to your login page. Your username will be your business email that you use on a day-to-day basis, and your password will be assigned by your launcher. If for some reason you forget your password or you go to type it in and it's not working, there will be a forgot password option on that login screen, so that you're never locked out. Once you successfully log in, this is the very first page that you'll see, your dashboard. And it contains a lot of useful information. A complete breakdown of visitors that you've had to the site, incoming leads by the source, and if this doesn't work for you, you can click on here to get a more broken down report. The top viewed pages on your site, visitors by device, and we've got several other things down here as well. You've got your account, which just is your account information, so your business information like your address, emails, and main phone number for your business. Users. If you'd like to add an employee to have their very own login, you can do that here. If you simply want to view the current users list that you've got for the editor, you can click on Users. Or if you just want to go in and add a brand new user, you can do that here. All you'll need in order to add in a brand new user is their first name, last name, their business email, and then to form a unique password for them. And afterwards, you can simply email that information to them. Next, we have sites that we see right down here. By going into domains, you will be able to open up your temporary build site. Here we have request update. This can only be used once your site has gone live. But let's say that your site goes live and you run into the situation of, oh man, I either don't know how to make this change, or you know what, I really don't have time to do it, or a mixture of the two. Once your site has gone live, you can click on request update or email our support directly and request that that update be taken care of for you. And let's jump over to the left-hand menu. First, we'll go into admin. This is the other place besides the quick link that you see down below account, in which you can add in your users or go and take a look at your account info. Marketplace is primarily used internally to add functionality to your website, and things can, technically speaking, be added from that marketplace. Setup tools. Use the integrations. If you have a Lightspeed integration or other integrations tied in for either inventory or e-commerce tools, you can jump into integrations and view reports as far as the status of that integration, if it's up and running and data is flowing into your editor and then onto your website. Dealer info. You will want to go into locations and double check that the information on the tabs underneath there is correct. Hours of operation is where you can define your open hours, both your regular hours, your winter hours, and of course any holiday hours. And of course, as those different parts of the year come up, you can activate and deactivate those hours to display them not only on the footer of your website, but also on the About Us page that you have on your site. First, let's jump into locations. As I said just a moment ago, there are 3 tabs you will want to check for accuracy. Those 3 tabs are Details, Sales and Lead Management, and Online Scheduling. Details is nothing more than your business name, address, and general contact information down below. Sales and Lead Management. It's exactly like what it sounds like. Over to the left, you have a list of every single form that your customer can fill out on your site. The person entered in the primary email address of each will be one of the individuals that receives the completed form, as well as an email notification that that form has been filled out on the site. Anyone else beyond this primary individual that you would also like to receive the completed form, as well as an automated email notification, you can fill that in the CC field down below. Just make sure that when you're filling in those multiple emails that you follow our example down below. So that is the first email, semicolon, space, and the next email, so on and so forth. And finally, there is online scheduling. If at some point you would like to have your customers have the ability to schedule a service or repair appointment directly from the services page on your site, you can go through and activate this and then set up the rest of the controls down below. Now, this is just simply adding another form to your site in which people would request service, and you would have to finish the actual scheduling process by way of phone call or email. If you would like to have actual, true, active scheduling in which you list your open blocks of time for your service technicians, you may want to ask your launcher or your account manager about a thing called an open Google Calendar. An open Google Calendar would allow you to list your blocks of open times on a daily basis for your service team. People would be able to actually go in and schedule a time. And of course, once that time has been scheduled by a specific customer, it would be then erased from the available time slots on that open public Google Calendar. Next, let's jump down to underneath dealer info, hours of operation. And here are your hours of operation. As you can see, there's only one generic group of hours here called hours, but you could call them your summer hours, winter hours, what have you. To view the information underneath this particular group, we can click on Details, and you can see the name there. The owner you will always want to set as all sites, just in case you decide to bring open another site with us, maybe for a secondary location. We could easily implement that hours information onto the secondary site, should you have one. Group description is not required, but if you want to put in a description of these hours, like these hours are observed at this date through this date, you certainly could. And then, of course, for each one of these hours blocks, you will click on New Hours and define them by the day. And these are excellent examples. Let's click on Tuesday, for instance. And you can say Tuesday open 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. Now, if you did want a secondary group for your winter hours, you can go through and hit New Group and add in that second group. And right here, you can see the active checkbox. Now, if that is checked, then these hours are currently going to be displayed on the About Us section of your site, as well as in the footer of your site as well. If you wanted to switch from your regular summer hours to your winter hours, you would simply uncheck this box. And for the second group of hours that may be down here, find that same button and activate it. And then, of course, you can go through, save changes. Once that save goes through, you will see a pop-up right here that says Changes Saved. And then to bring these save changes all in one large group over to your site to display them there, you'll click on the name of your business and run that Publish Changes. Then all you need to do in order to view those changes on your site is simply refresh the page that you made those changes to, and it should be instantaneous. Let's jump into content. Now here's where a lot of the meat and potatoes, if you will, of what displays on your site is held. First, we have pages. If you want to make a change to the various paragraphs on pages of your site, you'll jump into Pages and it opens up a simplistic editor in which you can go in and do all the basics like check for any grammatical errors, add in pictures, hyperlinks, YouTube videos, and a few other formats of media as well. Page assets. Think of this as a collection of those paragraphs in one place. Where this comes in handy is, let's say that you have a paragraph that you have on the home page, but you also want it to be on your About Us page, but you don't want to go in and retype it. You can simply take that particular page asset, whatever it is called, that bucket, if you will, of text, and simply also have that bucket of text display on your Contact Us page or wherever else you'd like it without retyping it. Navigation. This is where you can change the primary navigation and the secondary navigation that you have at the top of every page of your site. As a quick visual example, let's jump over to the site connected to this editor. And when I say primary and secondary navigation, here's what I mean. You have a parent navigation, which would be something like home. And then if we hover over showroom, you have your child link or child navigation for any links that appear underneath showroom. And underneath navigation, you can control the actual physical names that display, as well as the page that it takes your customer when they click on said link. Merch Slideshow. This we're actually going to jump into because this is a more important tool. This controls the sliding advertisements that you have either at the top of your homepage or near the top of your homepage. These are, of course, advertisements from major manufacturers that you like to showcase on your site with the newest financing deals or other advertisements like, hey, currently we have a military discount going on for Polaris vehicles or something. To change the order in which these display on your site, it's just a simple matter of click, drag, and drop. To remove any of these offers, you would simply click on Remove. Now, because there is no dedicated Save button at the bottom of this page, instead you would skip to your second step, click on the name of your business, and just publish those changes. The limit of offers you can have in here is 10. We recommend somewhere between 3 and 5. You have 3 different types of offers that you can add in. Factory promotions are going to be pre-made offers that come directly from the manufacturers with details on financing deals, discounts, and what have you. If you can't find what you're looking for underneath factory promotions, you can jump into pre-designed. Now, these are generic offers that you can use to advertise categories of equipment, brands that currently don't have a factory promotion running. Like I said, they are a touch more generic and made in-house. And if you can't find what you're looking for underneath either one of these, you can jump into custom offer and design one of these offers completely from scratch. Let's jump into factory promotions next. And here you have the different brands. So for instance, from Can-Am, it says we have 4 of these promotional offers available So we'll click on that Can-Am text. And when you find the picture or deal that is most appealing and you want to add it in, click on Add to Offer Queue. Now, by default, this is going to get added to the bottom of the queue, but as I stated earlier, if you wanted this to be the very first one in the list, you can click and drag that all the way up to the top if you wanted to. Let's move on to our next area. Next, we have services. Now, on your services page of your site, you will have your service names, and for each one of your services, you will have an icon. Underneath that services area, you can change the icon that is there, give details about the service, and if you're going to list a price for the service, you can also do that there. Now, we have a huge library of generic icons for different services, but if you choose to, you can also upload your own picture of, let's say, your own service manager working on a zero-turn mower, if you have a zero-turn mower service listed on that page, just as an example. Your staff page is exactly what it sounds like. You can list the first and last name of that individual, and that is all that's required. However, you can put on their email, you can provide a short bio if they want, and if you're feeling really brave, that's a joke, you can provide just a from the shoulders up headshot, if you will, of that individual if you like as well. One thing that can be handy about the staff page is if you have specific phone numbers or emails for a specific department, you can definitely put that on there if you wish. The staff page is divided up by departments. You define the departments and then define the employees within each department. Galleries. Let's say that you were just at an event, let's say a Power Sports Expo or something like that, or let's just say that you had a demo days or a customer appreciation day at your location, and you want to post some fun photos from that. Galleries is a great way to show that you are interconnected with your community and just say, hey, we are normal individual folks beyond being just a business entity. Events. If you have future events that you're going to be at, let's say that you're going to be setting up a booth at a local expo, or you're going to be a sponsor of, let's say, a T-ball league or something like that, and let's say you want to post their game schedule. You can go in and post the details of the event, such as time and date, as well as pictures and maybe a short paragraph as well. First, underneath Showcase, we have Product Manager. Product Manager is mostly used in legacy e-commerce. So pretty much the only function it will have on your site now that we are in the new PSS system will be changing the prices on your Showcase Catalogs page of your site, or what's also known as the New Models page of your site. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we'll jump into Showroom and Showroom. Now, depending on who built your site out and what naming convention they decide to use, it could be called Showroom, it could be called Brochures, it could be called Brands We Carry, Brands We Proudly Carry, and quite a few other names. Let's jump in. Prices that I'm talking about changing, if we jump into a random brand here, let's see if Honda has their pricing. So this one doesn't have pricing directly listed on it, but if it did have pricing from the manufacturer, you would jump into Products, and then Showcase Catalog, and then search the year, make, model, or a keyword in the description to find this unit, and then modify the price. Now, depending on the manufacturer, the prices could be there or not. If the MSRP is not listed for a unit, that is most likely to either the manufacturer did not send it to us, or the manufacturer has what's called regional pricing rules. And next, we'll jump down from Product Manager down to Catalogs. Catalogs. Now, your catalogs is for defining the different manufacturers that you have here on this page. And here you have your Catalog Manager. Down beneath the Manage Brands, you'll see all of the brands that are currently active on that New Models page. To the right of each manufacturer, you'll see an enabled number. All that means is if we click on anywhere on that Alumacraft gray bar, you can see the types of unit that are enabled and then the year's lineup that is selected to display on that page. So currently we have the 2022 and 2023 lineup of boats from Alumacraft displaying on that New Models page. Now, the way that you'll actually know they're displaying on your site is if the box is both checked and it is highlighted in this sky blue color. If it is highlighted in any other color, you know that that particular product line is only visible here in the editor and not yet on your site. Now, you will want to check through this information to make sure that it is up to date with what you would normally carry and keep in stock on a regular basis, or what you could potentially order in for customers if they're interested on a speedy basis. Let's say that you get done checking through these manufacturers and you're like, man, there's 2 or 3 missing. Can I add on more? Yes, you can. Go from active, 1 tab over to the right, to available. Once you get over to available, there will be a long list of manufacturers for you to choose from. In order to narrow down this list to make finding what you're looking for faster and easier, go into the upper right-hand corner and click on the Filter by Industry dropdown. And for today, let's focus on powersports only brands. Now for today, let's say that we wanted to add on Aprilia to that new models page. You can select Aprilia, click on Save Changes. Once that save goes through, you'll get a pop-up in this upper right-hand corner saying that the changes have been saved. And there we have the catalogs updated. Now we can jump back to our active list. And here we can see Aprilia, but 0 enabled. So we'll click on the drop-down and we'll scroll down to Aprilia Street Bikes and enable the 2023 lineup. We'll go ahead and click on the Save Changes once again. Perfect. Now to take the collection of save changes that we just made and push them over to the site all at once, we'll click on the name of our business in the upper right-hand corner and click Publish Changes. Once that publish has gone through, you'll get the success stamp down here. We can jump onto that new models page of our site, and all we should have to do is refresh the page, and Aprilia should appear in the A section up here. And there we have Aprilia. Now, I do have a few used units from Aprilia, but I do not have anything new, so I don't really want to attract attention to that particular brand because I can't get new units with where I'm at. So let's go ahead and remove that. So we'll jump back to our editor, back to available. We'll scroll down until we see Aprilia. We'll uncheck Aprilia, scroll back up, and click on that purple Save Changes again. Now it says, are you sure you want to remove Aprilia and specifically the 2023 Street Bikes lineup? Yes, remove. And there we have that Save Changes pop up again. Now again, because we just made another series of save changes here in our editor, and we want to push all of those changes over to the site all at once, we'll click on the name of our business and run that Publish Changes once again. And once this publish goes through, there it is, we should be able to jump back to that new models page, refresh the browser, and see that that Aprilia disappears. And there we have it. Now a quick word about the difference between the save changes and publish. Technically speaking, you can go into any of the functions in the left-hand menu of the editor and save as many changes as you want before actually going through and publishing. Or after every single change you make, you can go through and publish. Depends on what you want to do. I find people that are less experienced and brand new to this will publish after every single change they make, just because they're not 100% sure what change that's going to make on the site. Next down, we have Brand Editor, which you'll be able to go in and select the order in which these brands appear on this new models page, along with some other slight customizations, such as underneath each one of these. If you have different types of vehicles or equipment enabled, you'll be able to select the order in which those particular pieces of equipment are enabled. So for instance, underneath BMW, if the street bikes are more popular than the road bikes section or something like that, you could have the street bikes appear above the road bikes section. Purely an example. Custom catalogs. If there is a catalog that you would like to debut on that new models page of your site, and we currently don't have the information for it, jumping into that custom catalogs area will allow you to make one of these new models catalogs to display there. And unless you tell your customers otherwise, it'll be in the exact same format as our stock baked in information. Inventory. First up, we have our inventory manager. This is, of course, where you're going to add in your new, used, and new non-current units that you have in stock on location that you'd like to feature on your site. We'll jump into inventory manager. Once you've reached your inventory unit list that you see here, you'll see all of your current inventory that are listed on your site down below here in a nice organized list. And of course, you can use the filters, any of these in combination with a search to quickly find a specific unit that you're looking for. To add in a brand new unit, we'll click on Add Unit Inventory. Now, once you get to this page, there's 2 ways in which you can actually add in the unit information. Down beneath Unit Model and Details, you can add in the unit line by line manually if you wish. Or, if you want some help filling in this information down below, you can use the automated lookup that you see up here. Just enter in your unit's information in the order that they list here, and it will give you a list of suggestions that appear underneath the search bar. When you find the specific model and submodel that you're looking for, click it, and it'll fill in a majority of the info down here for you. Let's go through a real-world example. Let's say that we have a 2023, let's go with Yamaha, and specifically the one that I'm looking for is the 450 EPS utility. There it is. So we'll click on that suggestion. When we do, it goes through and fills in as much information down below as it can for us. One particular area that you'll always want to have filled in for every unit, every time, is your link to. As long as it matches the model line exactly that's above it, it's done correctly. The link to is the tool that brings in all of the original manufacturer information, such as engine size, fuel capacity, things of that nature, as well as some stock photos that you can choose to use if you want. Display and showcase. Okay, what this is going to do is if you want this unit to display on your dedicated inventory page, as well as in a specific spot here on the new models page, you will have that particular box, the display and showcase box, checked. And of course, if it is unchecked, it'll only display this unit on the dedicated inventory page and not on that new models page. Truly, the only advantage of having it display in the showcase is that unit is now on more pages of your site, so it'll increase the likelihood that your customer will run into it when browsing your website. When you do choose to display one of these in the showcase, what it will do is, let's say we have our Yamaha brand right here. What it'll do is it'll split this bottom down below. Half of it will say new models, and the other half will say in stock. If someone goes through and clicks on the in stock, any units that you've put in and you have that display and showcase box checked, it will display those units on the in stock half of that button. Stock number and VIN are not required to display the unit on the site, but if you have them, I would highly suggest that you type them in. And yes, you can substitute the serial number in there as well, and it will accept it. Location, of course, is where that unit is currently physically sitting. Title and condition are both required. Color and trim color are optional. New and used, required. This one happens to be new, so we'll leave that as it is. Usage unit, required. This is just a goofy way of saying what measurement of use is on this unit. Hours, miles, kilometers, what is it? So for today, we're going to go ahead and classify it as miles. And for usage value, which is also required, we're going to go ahead and say 0. Base price, required. Now, if you want to show the price of this unit, underneath this selection bar, you can select web price, and it opens up a field down below for you to type in that dollar amount. Or if you don't want to display the price, you can select call for price or one of the many other labels that you see down below as well. Best price. If you would like to sell this unit for a price lower than MSRP, this is a legal way of getting around those MAP restrictions. For instance, let's say Yamaha sends you this ATV. When they do so, they say, hey, you cannot display this unit on your site for anything less than MSRP, otherwise it's a breach of your contract. But you know that you can sell it for a heck of a lot less than MSRP and still clear a healthy profit face-to-face in your dealership. Well, you'd put that lower price in here. When doing so, it'll generate a best price button on that particular listing. When your customer clicks on best price, it'll pop up a pop-up that asks them for their name and email. When they fill that out and hit submit, it'll send them an immediate private email with that lower price in it, and you can let it get the negotiations begin from that point forward. Destination charge is any charge that you would pay in getting this unit from the manufacturer to your location that you'd like to pass on to the customer. Description. This is a great place to type in any notes about previous damage to the unit, any customizations that the previous user may have added, and if you're going to sell your units as different packages. For instance, with this Kodiak ATV, you may sell one as the farmer's package and include things like extra utility racks and a winch both on the front and back, or the huntsman package, which includes a enclosed and locked rifle rack on the side, as well as some extra lights, something like that. You can give a description of those different packages along with the differences in price away from the base price that you set. We'll hit save and continue on. The next mandatory page we have is specs and features. Now, if the link to is set correctly, all the specs and features will be populated here. Now, these do come directly from the manufacturer, and they're stored in our database, so the likelihood of them being incorrect is few and far between. But let's say the last person that owned this unit was a bit of a speed freak and had the engine sent off and ported and polished and bored, and now instead of 421cc, it is now an even 500, and you need to edit that. You can edit anything that you see in this table or the primary description by flipping over to Use, Customize, Specs, and Features. Next, we have Manage Images. Now, because we set that link to on the first Add Edit page, it brought in 3 really nice high-resolution images from the manufacturer. Now, a question I get constantly is, Ben, how many stock photos are going to be with each unit when you hit set that link to? Well, that varies really wildly depending on the unit type and the manufacturer. I've seen as little as 1 picture, and I've seen as many as 90 pictures. It purely depends on what the manufacturer provided to us. To add in your own pictures beyond these pictures you use either as in conjunction or as a direct replacement for these stock photos, you can click on Add Custom Images. By default, when this file browser opens, it will always be on the Browse tab. But to begin uploading photos from your computer, we'll go to Upload, then to the far left, select Files, and we'll grab some random images off of my computer today. So we'll go ahead and go with this one, hold down the Control key, and this one, so we can select multiple, and then hit Open. Once you have a full green status bar and 100% for each one of these image names, it'll add them to the Browse tab where we started. Now, you don't immediately need to add in all of those images that you just uploaded if you don't want to. So you can pick and choose. Any of the images that end up as a thumbnail down here are going to get added to the bottom of the list in the same order that you see them listed as thumbnails down here. Choose selected images. And that adds that image down at the bottom. To edit the order in which these images display on your site, you can use the move up and move down arrows. Or if you have a large set of images, and towards the middle of the group you have an image you want to display first, but for whatever reason don't want to move it to the top of the list, sure. Just fill in the primary radio button to the left of that image. It'll display this image first, and then the rest of the logical order that will be followed will be from the top of the list to the bottom. Now, other than the brand, this wave runner has absolutely nothing to do with this four-wheeler, or ATV, or quad, depending on what section of the world you come from. So we'll go ahead and hit delete. Okay, and it's gone. Now, one tool that we've been getting really good feedback on from dealers like yourselves is the Add Custom Caption. Now, let's say that you do have damage to this unit and it shows off that particular damage in a specific picture, and you want to give more details about maybe how it got there, or maybe that it's only surface damage and that it doesn't affect the mechanical ability of that unit whatsoever. You can add a different custom caption to the bottom of each one of these images if you wanted to. Now, not only does this give your customer a better idea of what they're purchasing, but also when it comes to SEO value, and this is what I'm told by our marketing team, is that for every unit that you have at least one caption on, the likelihood that someone performing a local Google search for that unit type, model, year, or brand, they're far more likely to end up on your site, on your unit, if you add those captions in. Hills page that we started with, we'll go ahead and click on the name of our business and publish changes. This will push the unit over to our site. Excellent. Now we'll go ahead and highlight and right-click to copy that model information. Jump over to our website. Now, as a way of refreshing your entire website with all the changes that we've made, we'll jump back to the home page. And now that we're back at the home page, typically there will be a search bar that's in the upper right-hand corner that you see. And all you'd have to do is copy and paste that search of that year, make, model in there. Now, this particular site doesn't have that search bar. So let's just go ahead and go into New Inventory. Now you can see that it is listed as the very first unit. If the system is working correctly and you do have that search bar up top, when you search the year, make, model that you just added in the editor, it should pop up somewhere within the first 6 results that you get on that search page. So it used the image that I told it to, comes up as in stock, call for price, just like I told it to. And if we click on View Details, beneath those really nice, clear images directly from Yamaha, you have all the specs and features. Now, let's say on the very first page of this unit, when you're putting it in, underneath that description area, you typed in different package details or some modifications or damage notes that are underneath there. Where that information is going to pop up on the final listing is it'll be the very first box above key features that will say Dealer, Notes, and Insight. We'll jump back to your editor, back to our dashboard. Now, before I end this video and let you get back to your very busy days, I'd like to cover over something important. Let's say you get into your Spark editor and you're like, I have forgotten what he talked about, or this process wasn't exactly clear to me. Where can I get help in the editor to help me out? Sure. The first place you can go is into the Help Center. Now, this gives you the direct lines to your support team, as well as their email. And if you click into the Help Center, this will give you both step-by-step articles with pictures, as well as videos that I have filmed that are very in-depth on almost every process that you do within this editor. Next place that you can get help is here on our dashboard. Over to the right-hand side, of course, you can see that request update, which we covered earlier. That wraps up a general walkthrough on your new editor. This has been Benjamin presenting. Until I talk to all of you again, thank you very much for your very valuable time. Have a great day.